proposed legislation would require an additional license for clinics that perform 10 or more abortions per month. Now joining me in the studio to provide a DFL perspective on this bill is Senator Chris Eaton. Welcome.
Thank you.
What are your concerns with this bill?
Well, to start with, these clinics are supervised by physicians, and there's like 1,250 of them, and
specialty clinics or just generic clinics statewide? Is that
clinics that are in the same category as the abortion clinics. They are physician supervised, they're under their licensure, and why we're singling out abortion clinics is kind of confusing, as many of those clinics are much more, they deal with much more dangerous procedures. Everything from glaucoma eye repair to colonoscopies to, knee arthroscopic surgery, that type of thing. The abortion procedure is very, very safe, like 0.01% complication problems. So to me, that doesn't make any sense to single them out. And I think we made that point in committee, that we would, if you want to have all of these have the same requirements as surgical clinics, all 1,200 of them, that's fine. That makes more sense, but this does not, to just single out abortion clinics. The requirements would close 5 of the 6 and put a really undue burden on women in Minnesota who are seeking an abortion.
Why would this bill close 5 of the 6 clinics that it's targeted towards?
There's a lot of physical plant requirements that they would not be able to achieve. So
one of the things in the bill is that, as you said, this applies just to 6 clinics in the state. The licensing fee is around $300. I understand it was more and then they lowered it. Is it a reasonable fee?
I don't really think the licensing fee is any part of the conflict on this bill. Okay. I think the bill is simply a fact that this does not pass the test that was set by the Supreme Court. It does cause more of a burden than a benefit. It doesn't further the interests of the state, and there's no information or data that shows it's a need in Minnesota. I believe it would be overturned by the courts, that it would be an expensive venture for the state to proceed with this legislation. I know Wisconsin just paid out $1.6 million, and North Carolina was a little over $1 million for the same court case, and they both lost, and that's why they had to pay the fees. So I fully expect this to be overturned, and Governor Dayton has said he will veto them, and he did before.
In committee, Senator Fischbach said that the motivation for the law is that Minnesota doesn't have anything on the books to prevent a case like what happened in Pennsylvania with Dr. Gusnell. In 2013, he was convicted for a number of counts, including first-degree murder in the deaths of 3 infants who were born alive during attempted abortions. Apparently, the clinic was also very unclean, unsanitary. It was just not a healthy place to be. Doesn't a case like this that happened in Pennsylvania warrant preventative legislation?
I'm a registered nurse, and I've worked in the state of Minnesota in healthcare for over 40 years. And I think we have wonderful standards. We have OSHA, we have HIPAA, we have all these different agencies that inspect and license our clinics. I can't imagine anything like that happening in Minnesota. We're known for our health care. We have the Mayo Clinic, we have the University of Minnesota. I'm sorry other states had that horrible experience. I just don't see it happening in Minnesota, and I see it as an overreaction. And I don't think it's real. I think that the real purpose of this is to close down abortion clinics.
In general, supporters of this bill say that it will help increase safety and protect women's health. Regardless of whether or not that's true, does it bother you that the rhetoric surrounding abortion is sometimes so divisive that possibly common sense things aren't heard?
It has. It's bothered me since the 70s. It's such an emotional issue. There is no point of common sense or agreement because nobody's willing to give an inch because they're afraid the ultimate end of abortion or free-for-all would happen. So, yeah, it's very frustrating.
Can you think of anything that people can do to make this conversation easier to have?
I think I would be probably in a higher position if I had that answer. No, I don't. I mean, we need to keep communicating with each other. And that is, you know, one of the benefits of this bill coming forward is we do get to have the discussion.
The conversation happens,
yeah, we get to air our differences. And I think it's been very civil. We'll get to do it again tomorrow on the floor. So we'll see how civil that stays.
Senator Eaton, I want to thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.